Right.
So what I mean by that is there's no stunt category in the Oscars, BAFTAs, or Golden Globes for any type of stunt or action choreography, which is quite crazy because we had Theo on earlier, who's an amazing makeup artist, and there's
Makeup
Oscars for
designer.
costume design and makeup designers. So but there's Oscars for that. So makeup design and costume design.
James, where are you now?
Just a few minutes away. How many of them are there?
I'm not quite sure. There's a guard just outside, and probably half a dozen around the building. James.
Hold on. So he likes me to call him the makeup designer. That's it.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Yeah, good.
You're the makeup designer, right?
The makeup designer, that's the one.
Yeah. Why do you want to call yourself the makeup designer, not the makeup artist?
It's a more of an important role. I mean, as a makeup artist, you're not responsible for the actual look. You know, you're the person that comes in and applies the design, basically.
Interesting.
Yeah, department head and working as a makeup designer is another different thing as well. So you can manage the whole team, but not be the designer.
Okay.
But, yeah, I have to work with characters and the way that the actors look. And, yeah, that's basically my responsibility.
Okay. So people probably worked out. So you worked on the makeup on the Bond film.
Yeah.
It was a quite short project for you because we were kind of running out of time, and you have some personal stuff going on. So, tell me about your experience. It was a lot of waiting around, wasn't it?
I thought it was great. I mean, even though everything was shot in just such a small amount of time,
yeah,
you did a really good job of being able to capture all the scenes that we had in the script. Just running through everything, it was nice because I could come in knowing that the look for the film would be Bond, so it was clean makeup. And so working with the faces, it was just really easy. I mean, Lewis already looks like he's got sort of Daniel Craig in him as well. You look at his eyes and you have that essence there. So
I mean, makeup, people think it's easy. I've tried to do makeup and then putting blood on, and it just doesn't look right. There's definitely an art to it, isn't there?
Yeah, so, I mean, it depends on what you're doing as well. Sometimes it can be a science. I work a lot with prosthetics, so for me, it's a lot of numbers and ratios and figuring out how to work with a face, with a life cast and a sculpture as well. So a lot of the time you're thinking in a lot of technical processes before you even apply the makeup.
Yeah, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's really cool.
We try to find any questions. I think there isn't any questions.
There isn't any.
No, there isn't. People are too scared to ask questions about makeup. I can ask you questions. So what are you working on? What are you working on next? Do you have anything going on?
I've got a couple of projects that I'm working on in the spare time that I've got here. I'm working on some sort of secret stuff with my business.
Secret stuff?
Secret stuff.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of, I'll release it at some point, but it's to kind of keep my business up and running. It's just some plans I've got installed for when this all blows over. I've got some other sort of international stuff happening with some other businesses.
Okay, so you like Martin. You've got a lot of things.
I've got a lot of stuff coming up, but I want to kind of just keep it on the DL until when it's ready, I'll release. But
okay, looking forward to that.
Yeah,
and definitely get you on board for. I think we're looking to make a John Wick 4 fan film.
Yeah.
So maybe you can get some makeup
Definitely.
on that.
Yeah. No, I've done a lot of action stuff. So John Wick
John Wick could be good. Maybe some kind of, I don't know, kneecap injury after
Yeah,
shot wound.
definitely. we also do smashable props as well. I mean, I've got a business in doing smashable items and breakaway props, so we can bring some things in as well, like bottles or plates or whatever. Don't know what a piece of
Yeah, that sounds good. Hannah's got a question.
Yeah. Where is it?
What's been the toughest sort of prosthetic look you had to design?
What's the toughest I've had to design? I did one a few months ago. I had to change my model a few times. This was for my sort of master's degree that I'm doing at the moment.
Okay.
So I had a life cast of my original model, and I had to do my prosthetics to match the skin texture of his face and the shape of his face. So it's kind of like tailored like a suit. And then my model became unavailable, so I had to try, change models. He was a different height, different weight, different face
skin.
texture. He's also got a different heritage as well, so he's got a mixed heritage. So and the prosthetic that I was using was working around the eyes as well, so his eye shape had changed quite a lot. So I had to figure out how to apply the prosthetic without making it look droopy or weird and change the bone structure of it. And that took me 5 hours to apply. But it was this sort of eye thing. You'll see it on my Instagram.
Wow. I think I've seen that. Yeah.
Okay. So sort of the barbed wire with the eye thing, and it's pulling his eye down.
All right.
Or lip.
I was in the film called Apostle, which is on Netflix.
Yeah.
And then I had to play a rebel where my hair was all gone.
Yeah.
And there's a ponytail. So what they did was they have this like really skin like cap.
Yeah.
They brush my hair backwards.
Yeah.
And put the cap on and glue it and then match the edges to my skin.
Yeah.
And it looks like I'm bald.
Yeah, definitely. I've done so many of those. When I was working on Dune, we did 5 weeks of bald caps. So every day we'd do two bald caps every day in the morning, and then we would maintain those looks.
Yeah, it takes a long time.
14 hours every day, and then we'd come and take it off and go home and do it again at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, wow.
But, yeah, I've done so many bald caps. They're kind of like a bit of a thumb sore now. But yeah, they're so cool. I love doing them.
Alex is asking, what makeup artist do you have influenced in and why?
I'd actually say Donald Mowat. He's a good friend of mine, and he's actually looked after Daniel Craig's personal makeup for quite a few years as well. So learning how to sort of work with a face and knowing how to work with the sort of highlights and bringing out you couldn't say imperfections, because nothing's imperfect. It's about bringing your character and what you can provide. I've just done a short film. I did a short film a year ago, and it's just been released yesterday. It's called Him and Her, and there's a transformation makeup in that. It's a sort of a boy who wants to become transgender, and he wants to feel his identity as a woman. But we didn't use any prosthetics. We just used makeup to enhance the way that he is. And I think by talking to Donald and seeing his designs, it's nice to see that you can transform a look of somebody just by using a minimum amount of makeup to really give a new identity to somebody.
Okay.
I really quite like that. It's quite ergonomic.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's cool stuff.
We've got a question from Kara Ritchie. What's your favorite part of being a makeup artist? What do you find most challenging about it?
My favorite part of being a makeup artist would be working as a makeup department head has always been my dream. So managing my own team, being able to design and be responsible for the look, and bringing people in that I know that are better than me in certain areas. I'm not good at everything. I'm not going to be.
Are you not?
No,
I'll hide you because you are good at everything.
Oh, no. No. Well, there's a certain degree of good, and then there's another level. And there's some people that I can bring in that I know can do period hair better than I can. And there's people that can make wigs, and there's people that can make you know, an animatronic with motors and heads and all that kind of stuff. I couldn't tell you how to do the inside of those, but looking at a certain thing like a prosthetic, I can design the way that the rubber is and how the makeup will work and move with the actor's face and all of that kind of stuff. But I think the most challenging part about the job is trying to make sure that everything's within budget, keeping in time, you know, following the schedule. If something's been changed in the schedule, you've got to figure out whether the material is going to go off, or if you have enough time, or if you have enough of the stock. You know, lots of things can change.
Yeah, that happens all the time. I think that happens every time.
Exactly. Yeah, it varies all the time, and I think that's probably the hardest part about my job. But as a makeup artist, the hardest part would be the sort of responsibility of following the design that a designer's given to you. Because I was when I was working on Dune, there's a specific look that we had to do, as well as we did the bald caps for Kerry Godliman on Afterlife, season 2. So I had to follow a specific look for how they did it in season 1, repeat it for season 2. But because it's a different artist, sometimes you've got to come in and do a version of it because you don't know how they did it last time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like for every job, you always learn every time you do a job.
Yeah.
So that's what I love about the film industry. Whereas a normal desk job, you do learn a little bit, but it is repetitive. There's nothing that's going on. But yeah, especially with acting and filmmaking, there's so much to learn every time.
Yeah, definitely.
So I've got one more question before you go, Theo, from Emmerich says, what has been your best work so far?
My best work? It depends. I mean, there's a lot of things that I've worked on that I'm proud of, but there's also a lot of things that I know that I enjoy just because of the look and the way that I worked with the director. And sometimes that can change my opinion on whether I liked the movie or whether I liked the work.
Yeah.
But I worked on a film in Romania called Back to Back, and that was a really great film. It was
a feature. Was it a feature or short film?
It's a feature.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're trying to continue after coronavirus passes away, because we were going to plan to start refilming back in April, but I don't think that's going to happen just because of the circumstances. But the way that I was working with the director was sort of, he could tell me one thing and I'd come back and something new would happen, and he'd just be like, yeah, this is what I want, and we just kept bouncing off ideas, and it just worked every night. We'd come back and have a new idea for a new scene for the new thing tomorrow.
Right.
Coming back, and it was just, it was great. So I think the work in that's going to be quite impressive.
Okay. You have to show it on Instagram. And...
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, thanks for your time. We're going to move on to Wang next. And take care, and we'll catch up again.
I'll see you soon.
All right. See you later. Bye.
Stay safe. Bye.